Chris says, hey coaches, I'm a big fan of the podcast and I've been using TrainerRoad for a while now and love it. My question for you guys is which plan to use in training for Mauna Kea on the island of Hawaii in February of 2022? I chose climbing road race, but after thinking about it, that probably isn't the best choice. Something with much longer sustained efforts around FTP would probably be better. I have a goal of under 7.5 hours for the ride, and this is pretty ambitious, I'll admit, but I think it's doable. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Keep up the great work. Chad, you've done the majority of, or about, I think 2/3 maybe of Mauna Kea.
Sure, it's generous, but yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
We're going to continue on the theme of ribbing Chad. All right.
Yeah. No, not the theme.
So you didn't make it to the top, Chad? Or?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you relate a little bit of, so first of all, what would you say to him about he says, I chose climbing road race, which climbing road race typically works on maintaining pretty high amounts of power. We're talking about the 10 to 20 minute duration typically is what it's really targeting. It's a specialty plan, right? So that's like, that's where that one is focusing. Is that what you would suggest? Because Mauna Kea is not a 10 to 20 minute climb. What would you suggest?
Of our plans, is it still called Century or is it, do we rename it Century Plan?
Yep. A gravel plan, Century plan. They're all really similar in that regard. Yep.
Yeah. Cause basically, I mean, this
Grand
is all
Fondo,
about,
forgive me is the name of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I did think it got renamed.
Mm-hmm.
It got renamed. Yeah. That would be my best. That'd be my recommendation simply because these are really long, drawn out, low intensity efforts. I mean, it's basically, what'd you end up doing it in, Jonathan? Like 24
I'm looking
hours?
right now.
He bites back.
Biting back. I like
no,
that,
he
Chad.
actually did it. So I can't really rib him.
I'm going to figure it out here. Yeah. You
It's
keep
like
going.
11 hours. Either way, it's a long day. I mean, if it's 5 hours, 3 hours, then you just need aerobic fitness because you're just going to have to stay on the gas at a low rate for a long time. And if you have the misfortune that we had coming up over the saddle road, we just got pelted with block headwind, which is really demoralizing when that's pretty much the easiest part of that entire ride. And it probably amounted to, I won't say the hardest, but definitely the hardest of what I made it to, because I didn't even make it to the observatory. So, but even then it's the same sort of effort. I mean, we're talking about 60% of your FTP, 65, 70%. That's not to say
Chad,
that
you can't ride FTP for 7 hours. Why not?
I don't have you know. I need to interject here after that 24-hour cut low. 6 hours and 52 minutes and 26 seconds.
Is impressive time in general.
FTP.
Yeah.
And the fact that you made it is impressive in and of itself.
Yeah, it was so hard. Yeah,
but
it's so hard. Yeah,
it's a slow, steady effort. So, and I'm not saying go out and do slow, steady efforts for 6 or 7 or 8 hours at a time. We know that you can train a number of ways to improve your aerobic capacity, but I don't think there's a heck of a lot to be gained by going climbing road race and working on shorter, more intense climbs over doing something like a Century plan, which is similar in enough ways. Honestly, it'd probably be a fine approach if you want to mix it up a bit, especially if you said February, so it's coming up pretty soon. So you got to pick a specialty. I would veer more towards Century. Just know it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a low intensity day, and you're going to have to spend a heck of a lot of time in the saddle. And my bit of advice to you is make sure it's the right saddle, because that was my downfall. That was the ride that helped me recognize that a slight curve in the middle of a saddle is very different from a flat saddle in that it changes your pelvic positioning and puts some heavy stress on your lumbar spine if that's not the way you ride, if that's not the way you're set up.
Big day to figure that one out too. Not an ideal day to figure that out. I also, looking at it now, I had 59 watts for my normalized power. So either I ceased to exist
right at FTP
and I didn't weigh anything.
So it was an FTP effort then.
Yeah. Or, power meter went bad, which I think is definitely the case. Chad and I did dip our tires in the ocean, but not our entire bikes. So I don't think that caused the problem, but man, this one, like Chad said, yes, a higher threshold will help because then your 60% will be at a higher level, right? But with where you're at in proximity to February, it's going to be about working on tempo intervals, and it's going to be sweet spot work and that sort of stuff that really focuses on muscular endurance within still aerobic efforts. And because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be, I'm just going to prepare you. It's going to be absolutely miserably hard. It's the saddle. Chad and I probably had a 40-mile-an-hour headwind at times, but probably steady 20. And that was a block headwind while we're climbing up around, 8%. And just imagine having that just in your face. And then it started raining while we were having that. And the temperature at that point, you're up towards 7,000 feet. Temperature dropped substantially. And then at the top, it was partially like foggy, snowing on us, and it was blowing wind. It's so hard. Like, yeah, I'm not eager to ever do that again. So, but go for it, Chris. It is a cool accomplishment for sure, to get that one done. Okay. Last question from Jason. Oh yeah. Go ahead, Alex. Are you ever going to do something like this? This could be you. Like that's power to weight ratio, big threshold. So then you can, your 50% would be power? Really high. Yeah.
If I did, I would try to go for the KOM, but I don't know what it is.
He fuels well. Oh, let me tell you, he fuels well too, Chad. That's another thing. He's really good at fueling his efforts. So this is from the west side over the island, not the east side. It's the one that Phil Guyman has the KOM on. He did 4:59:19. So just a touch faster than me, just a touch. So 4:59:19.
Different kind of fun. But Chris, my two pieces of advice would be, one, specificity. Even if it's just putting some books under the front tire on your trainer, just to get a little more like in that position. To Chad's point, your saddle's at a different angle when you're climbing for that long. So just make sure you're comfortable with it. And then if you do opt outside, try to do your efforts on a climb so you're used to that inertia. And
if you have a smart trainer, go in the smallest gear you possibly have. Because boy, inertia was nowhere to be found on the majority of that climb. It's so steep toward the top. So, and then Chad and John, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I would focus not so much on threshold at this point, but within adaptive training, that endurance and tempo, like leveling, like those two being as close to level 10 between now and February as you can, like being really good at those zones within your FTP. Yep. Not a bad idea to swap your weekend ride with a longer endurance ride. It's not a bad idea because, and when I say long endurance ride, I mean, you'll still be riding at 60 to 70% of your FTP with these longer endurance rides, but you'll be trying to extend those durations, 3 hours, maybe 4 hours.
A good opportunity to test fueling on those rides too. See how your body reacts after 3 or 4 hours to continual sugar. Some people look at me like I'm crazy because they ask if I eat real food, and I'm just pounding gels for 7 hours and completely happy about it.
And to give people context, I realize some people may not know, even though we talked about it at length on this podcast, but it goes from sea level, literally at the ocean, and it goes up to 13,626 feet. I think it is. It's all one climb. It has the upper section is gravel, or not the top. The top, it becomes paved again, but from mile, and it's 55 miles long. So it's a very long time. And I think that it's gravel basically from mile 46 until mile 54. And it is loose in deep volcanic ash soil that you're trying to deal with. And it is, at times it's over 30%, but then it averages 16% once you get into the gravel, and then it goes above. So
in my defense though, I did abide my plan, which was to shoot for the KOM, which is 5 hours. And if I wasn't there, that's it. Hang up the bike.
Now I see. Oh yeah. Now I see. Yeah. I like it. That's good. Yeah.
Just put Chad with his shiv on the flat section to pull me across.
Yeah. And you're dealing with temperatures that are roughly around, depending on when you start, somewhere around 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and just humid in the beginning up to
Alex
freezing.
Just brought up a good point. I don't know if he's doing this solo, but if he is doing it with somebody, there was no teamwork amongst us. We were all such varied abilities that we didn't ride together at all. I don't know, Jonathan, did you have somebody for a little while? Didn't you?
For a little bit in the beginning.
Was there a big benefit in that, or were you pulling him?
He was behind. Yeah. But even then, on a climb like that, it's so long and it's so constant. It's going to be really tough to find somebody that would be able to stick with you and work together.
Yeah.
If you're really going for a KOM, if you're pacing at capacity. So super cool goal to go for. I'm glad I have that one checked, because not eager to put it back on.
If you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up.
If you didn't like this video, you can give it a thumbs down, but let us know what you would have done differently in the comments below.
If you want to see more of these videos, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to become a faster cyclist, check out TrainerRoad.com.
Do it.